I've got a deal of the century for you. Here's how it works. If I were to offer to send you $134 a month, no strings attached, and all you had to do was log into a different online account other than your banking account to receive the money, would you do it? Now, of course you would, at least I hope you would, but the problem is that 90% of Canadians choose not to take this deal. That's about $40,000 you can make throughout 25 years if you consider working with a non-bank lender instead of your bank.
Hold up.
In this video, what we're going to talk about is the difference between a big bank lender and a non-bank lender. What you'll see is that in the way their actual business models works, non-bank lenders most of the time will have a much better rate than the big banks. Before I got involved in the mortgage world, I had never heard of these non-bank lenders, like literally never heard of them. And then I get into my weekly team meetings and everyone keeps mentioning these random foreign names that I had never heard about, but I realized pretty quickly why they kept mentioning how great these non-bank lenders really are. Recently, the Huffington Post had a really telling article about how the big banks work and how the whole system's just completely off. So first of all, the media has a really bad influence on us. They made huge headlines because RBC dropped their rates by 0.15. That's you saving $40 a month. Now, what about the headlines that of course there weren't any of, where you can save 3 times this amount per month by knowing about these non-bank lenders?
Duh.
Firstly, let's see where the money you will borrow for your mortgage originates from. Now, both non-bank lenders and big banks are influenced quite a bit by the bond market yield, and a lot of them actually borrow from the bond market. So when the bond market yield goes down, the non-bank lenders have access to less expensive capital, which, being the nice guys they are, they will also pass those savings on to you. Now, the big banks, they'll usually do that, but they'll take their time and maybe wait, 3-4 months before they actually even drop their rates, 0.15. Even if the big banks drop their rates as fast as the non-big banks, they're not gonna bother because they know that 9 out of 10 Canadians are so attached and so reliant on the big banks that they're gonna make more money from you. Why leave money on the table? Let's go back to that 3.74 interest rate drop that RBC had. And if at that same time, you would have asked almost any mortgage broker what the non-bank lenders had at that time, there was as low as 3.23. Now that's about 0.5% difference, which is a massive difference, both short and long term. Just to be precise, that 0.51 difference in interest rates, if you do the math, every month it's $134 more in your pocket if you go with the lower one. And yes, once again, back to the first part of this video, you will save $40,200 by going with a non-bank lender versus a big bank. Now, to be fair, big banks aren't terrible people. In fact, they can be quite useful, and some cases, they can actually be a better option for you. Now, for example, specifically, if you want a home equity line of credit because you want to renovate or you want more cash, they're a lot more flexible in giving you this. Now, secondly, if your debt to income ratios are slightly above what other people see as permissible, banks can be a lot more accommodating in this manner. So big banks aren't necessarily to be discounted, but you really just got to look at your options and understand what's the best scenario for you. If you're looking to save money long term and you're okay with stepping out of your comfort zone, please step out of that bank bubble and just explore your options with your local mortgage broker. Do you have an opinion or a question on this? Please leave a comment. I love both reading and responding to them. And look, if you know someone who is about to renew their mortgage, could be your parents, or someone who's looking to buy a house and they're just so stuck in their big bank bubble, please flip this video their way and make sure that they give you some royalties after you show them how much money you're gonna save them. If you learned something new today and you think that all the money you're gonna save from going with a non-bank lender can elevate your life, please subscribe and be alerted for the next video. And friends, as always, keep leveling up your living.